I feel so unproductive. What? Try this. What the?
Hi everyone, Thao here. So this is the Logitech MX Master 3. It's what many consider to be the best productivity mouse, period. I'm pretty familiar with the whole MX Master lineup at this point. I mean, I've purchased and used every single version of it, like a sucker. All jokes aside, does this actually make me more productive? Sure, I guess so. All right, there's two big features that make this stand out for me. Number one is being able to pair up to 3 devices and seamlessly switching between them with a click of a button. This is so convenient, especially for me, since I test and work across different devices all the time. For example, I could be working on my computer, and if I press this button on the bottom here, I'm now using the same mouse with my tablet. And switching back is as easy as pressing the button again. Super simple, no fuss. None of that pairing and unpairing nonsense. Logitech also has this feature called Flow that lets you automatically switch between computers by just moving your mouse cursor to the edge of the screen. The concept is great, but in reality, it's not really reliable. Okay, so this is my Windows PC and this is my Mac Mini setup. I've got Flow enabled on both computers right now. It's connected to my Windows PC, but if I move the cursor over to the edge, it should switch. See, it works. And if I move it back to the edge, I should be able to switch back. I'm trying to move it over and it's not working. So it gets a little frustrating to use sometimes. The second and probably most useful element of the MX Master lineup is the ability to customize every single button besides the right and left click on a per app basis. Basically, you can have a different mouse profile for each of your favorite apps. The Logitech software has a bunch of preset actions, but there's also a keystroke assignment option that lets you map tedious actions to any of these buttons on the mouse. Just figure out what the keyboard shortcut is. It's usually displayed right beside the option in the menus, like this, and then just punch it into the Logitech software and you're good to go. To take things a step further, there's a hidden button on the thumb rest that opens up 4 more gestures that you can customize more actions to. After you get used to it, going back to a basic mouse without all the shortcuts just feels restrictive and almost incomplete. Of course, there are other details that add to the experience, like really good battery life, or this button that switches the scroll wheel from smooth to precision scrolling, and the fact that they include a universal receiver, which makes the connection so much more reliable compared to Bluetooth. The build quality and comfort aren't too shabby either, even with my tiny hands. Also, shout out to my girl Michelle, who when I first showed her this, she was like, what the heck is that transformer looking thing? So clearly the design isn't for everyone. Now for $100, durability is decent, but could be better. My 5-year-old MX Master, for example, is still working. It's just that the scroll wheel doesn't have that satisfying click like it used to, which is a little disappointing. In my opinion, the MX Master 3 is the one to grab if you're serious about picking one up. It really isn't a massive upgrade from the 2S, but there's little tweaks that really add up. First, it finally charges via USB-C. The 2S was one of the only things on my desk that still needed a micro USB cable, which was slightly inconvenient. Everything else on my desk is USB-C. The button placement, especially the ones around the thumb here, are much improved. On the 2S, the forward and back buttons were squished behind the horizontal scroll wheel and just felt awkward to use. They've been moved down to a more natural position. This allowed them to fit a bigger horizontal scroll wheel, which I love and use all the time. They also removed the gripping material on both scroll wheels, which let me just say was a dust and dirt magnet on the previous versions. I swear I'm not a dirty person, but those tiny grooves would just end up full of dirt. Cleaning it meant using a pin and scraping each groove out individually. Yeah, not fun. As a content creator, I think this is a fantastic mouse and totally worth the investment since it actually makes my job easier. But one big knock on the mouse though is that there's no left-handed option, like at all. At the end of the day, buying this mouse isn't going to magically make you more productive. However, it does offer extra customizable functionality over something like a plain Jane mouse. If you don't plan on using any of that extra functionality though, you could just save your money and get something a lot cheaper. As usual, thank you all so much for watching. Until the next one, I'm out of here.